afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. I think that opening video said it all. The first measurable snow.
Oh, the first one is always so exciting, but now it's kind of a little dreary outside.
Yeah,
Today, I'm thankful to be working from home.
You had a good commute this morning.
That's right.
All right, here's what's making news on this Tuesday. Another Tuesday with long lines as people try to get COVID-19 test results before the Thanksgiving holiday, but health officials say it's too late to get a result. And Governor Evers is once again asking people to stay home and avoid large gatherings, why he wants you to stay home for Thanksgiving. And President Trump speaks briefly today as President-elect Joe Biden announces major cabinet decisions. Let's take a look outside. The snow fell earlier this morning. It sure was pretty, wasn't it? But it turned into drip, drop, drip, drop. Dana's in the backyard. With an umbrella or not?
No umbrella right now. I have it by the door. I was ready to grab it just in case. It's kind of misting out here on the patio, but not enough that I needed an umbrella. As we look downtown, you can see it's misty, it's cloudy, it's foggy. As the snow melts, we are going to have areas of fog overnight. Some of those low-lying areas could get pretty dense. Not expecting widespread dense fog, but it is going to be foggy outside. In Platteville, the same story. Spots where the snow is still on the ground, but it's just going to continue to disappear as more rain comes down and kind of eats away at it, as our temperatures stay pretty close to 40 for overnight lows. We'll be in the upper 30s. Here's a look at our Doppler track right now. Again, we're kind of misty on the patio. It doesn't look like we have anything over Madison on our radar, but folks in Janesville, parts of Rock County, likely seeing some steady showers coming down. Overall, the showers will stick with us overnight and for Wednesday. Again, the fog will be a concern for the morning. We'll need that giving us a little extra time for the morning commute also, as visibility will be reduced. But once we get to Thanksgiving, we're back to sunshine, and that's how we will stay heading into the weekend and the following week. Quite a dry stretch to follow what has been a pretty messy Tuesday for us. Overall, the roads right now, thankfully, looking pretty good. As we look throughout the Sun Prairie area, we aren't seeing any delays. Much of Dane County in a pretty good spot at this time. Same goes for Rock County and downtown Janesville. To get from Janesville to the Beltline, about 26 minutes, 17 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and Sun Prairie to downtown, about 9 minutes on this foggy evening. The roads are still slick. Much of it has been cleaned up, but just know that they're still going to be a little wet in spots.
Just take it slow. All right, Jenna, thank you. We'll see you in a few minutes. First at 4, almost 100 more people have died from COVID-19 in Wisconsin. 95 deaths reported today alone. Just days after passing the 3,000 death milestone, nearly 3,200 people have died from the virus in the state as hospitalizations continue to be at capacity. Nearly 6,000 more people in Wisconsin have tested positive for COVID-19. Lines haven't been as long at the Alliant Energy Center today as they have been in recent Tuesdays. Instead, the long lines happened last weekend.
Our Gabriella Becerra explains why it's too late to get a standard COVID-19 test if you want the results before Thanksgiving.
It's been a slow day here at the Alliant Energy Testing Center, and public health attributes that to the weather. But if you get tested right now, you likely won't even get your test results back before Thanksgiving. It's important to note that a negative test today doesn't mean you won't be contagious if you sit down with loved ones on Thanksgiving. Dr. Nasia Safdar with UW Health says once exposed, you can show symptoms or test positive anytime during COVID's 14-day incubation period.
I think the main thing is to just recognize that we are very much in a surge situation, and even though we would like to be able to use testing as a way to get out of that current situation, it doesn't seem possible.
Dr. Safdar says a positive test is of value because it can tell you to quarantine. A negative, on the other hand, is a false security blanket. It might not stay that way. Now, if you do go to a Thanksgiving gathering and want to get tested afterward, don't show up here on Friday. Doctors say it takes at least 48 hours for a positive test result to show up. But if you do get a negative result, don't assume that's the case because it could turn positive later on in the incubation period. In Madison, Gabriella Becerra, News 3 Now.
Governor Tony Evers and leaders at DHS are making their final pleas before Thanksgiving for everyone to stay home.
With the most deaths reported in a single day today, the fear is that gatherings will only make things worse. Brady Mallory is here with the governor's message. Brady?
Well, if you're planning to celebrate on Thursday with people you don't live with, Governor Evers is urging you to seriously reconsider. He says no one wants to be the next host of a super spreader event or be the one to spread the virus to their parents or grandparents. And the only way to truly prevent that is by staying home. And he's pleading with Wisconsinites to make the hard choices.
A negative test is not a free pass to host or attend gatherings. A negative test today does not guarantee a negative test tomorrow, and you could very well test negative one day and spread the virus to your family the next day.
He's also stressing the importance of taking care of your emotional well-being. Being alone or without all of your loved ones on Thanksgiving will no doubt be difficult. He's stressed the importance of self-care, checking in on those you care about over the phone or virtually, and telling yourself that it's okay to not be okay. And he wants you to know you're not alone. And if you need help, ask for it. You can go to resilientwi.gov for resources or call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline.
Important reminders in these difficult times. Brady, thank you. The Surgeon General delivered a bleak warning today. There are now more than 85,000 people in the United States hospitalized with COVID-19, setting a new record for the 14th day in a row. Nancy Chen reports from New York.
At St. Louis University's ICU, every room is full.
In the beginning, I wasn't seeing such young patients, and now lately we're getting patients in their 20s.
COVID patient Mary Daly is not in the ICU, but being alone is taking its toll.
I don't know what to expect.
Missouri is one of 6 Midwestern states that are the hardest hit in terms of hospitalizations. With record-breaking numbers of hospitalizations across the nation, the Surgeon General explained the severity of the moment.
You may not be able to go in and get your heart attack treated. Right. I've heard hospitals not being able to provide care for pregnant women because they're filled with COVID beds.
Here in New York City, a field hospital that hasn't been used since the peak of the pandemic last spring has just reopened.
The temporary treatment center is on Staten Island, where hospitalizations have tripled in the past 3 weeks.
The majority of the patients are going to be people that were treated for COVID, have gotten past that phase where they're really critically ill, but still need care.
And even as the race to a vaccine shows promising results, a new poll finds nearly a quarter of New Yorkers say they are unlikely to get the vaccine when it becomes available. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
The survey from the Siena College Research Institute showed 35% of people said they definitely would take the vaccine, and 34% said they would probably take it.
As the race to roll out a vaccine for the coronavirus goes into high gear, travel companies are looking to see how the vaccine could affect their bottom line. Australia's largest airline has a new plan to keep COVID off its flights. No vaccine, no boarding pass. CEO Alan Joyce says once a vaccine is widely available, it's a must-have for all international travelers.
What we're looking at is how you can have a vaccination passport, an electronic version of it that certifies what the vaccine is it acceptable to the country you're traveling to.
Australia has imposed some of the most severe border restrictions in the world since the pandemic began. It's closed its borders to most international visitors and allowed its own citizens to travel internationally only under special circumstances.
Speaking of the airlines, millions of people are going away for Thanksgiving despite surging coronavirus cases. TSA workers screened more than 3 million people between Friday and Sunday, their busiest 3-day stretch since March. And at the same time, tens of thousands of airline employees are still out of work. Employment centers in several Northern Virginia communities just launched a rapid response program to help airline and airport workers who have lost their jobs due to the pandemic, offering free in-person and virtual resources like resume writing and networking.
Are there jobs out there that'll pay their bills?
So that's where the challenge comes in. There are opportunities out there, but you have to be prepared for those opportunities.
With Congress unable to agree on a second COVID relief package, CBS News estimates more than 90,000 airline workers have lost their jobs through furloughs, layoffs, or by taking exit packages. Nearly 84,000 have taken unpaid leave. Thousands more have experienced pay cuts. Last week, airline CEOs sent a letter to Congress pleading for additional support, citing surging COVID cases leading to cancellations and the need for airlines to have additional staffing to better help transport vaccines.
President Trump made 2 public appearances today, 3 weeks after the election, but he did not take any questions. His administration has begun the transition process, though he still has not conceded. President-elect Biden formally introduced several members of his incoming administration. The picks include Alejandro Mayorkas to serve as Secretary of Homeland Security and UW-Madison alumna Linda Thomas Greenfield to represent the United States at the UN.
My father and mother brought me to this country to escape communism.
Only in America would we be where we are today.
Nearly 3 weeks after the election, General Services Administrator Emily Murphy officially signed off on beginning the transition process. The president did not address the transition, but made brief remarks praising the stock market. Later, he presided over the annual White House turkey pardon. On Twitter, President Trump still says his legal challenges to the election results are moving full speed ahead, but his campaign was dealt another blow today when Pennsylvania certified that President-elect Biden won the state by more than 80,000 votes.
The stock market exhaled a sigh of relief today and torpedoed past a psychological barrier and into record territory. The market has been in a month-long rally, boosted by progress on coronavirus vaccines. Gains in the Dow Jones Industrial Average accelerated after news of a formal go-ahead for President-elect Joe Biden's transition to the White House. Investors were also celebrating the president-elect's expected choice of former Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen as his Treasury Secretary.
Why do you think investors like Janet Yellen so much?
Well, when Janet Yellen was chair of the Federal Reserve, she very much presided over an environment of low interest rates, and she was very hesitant to raise interest rates, and investors love low rates.
The Dow's milestone marks a speedy comeback from March when the index dove below 19,000 as the pandemic tightened its grip. Investors are now signaling optimism that an economic recovery is in sight. It took the Dow just 4 years to climb to 20,000, from 20,000 to 30,000. When the final bell sounded, here are the numbers. The Dow closed up 454 points, closing at 30,046. The Nasdaq gained 156, and the S&P 500 added 57.
Well, because of COVID, the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe may get the axe itself. Minnesota had 20 players out last week and won't practice today because of possibly more positive tests. As of now, Saturday's Badgers-Gophers game is still on, and the Gophers plan to practice tomorrow. The matchup will mark the 130th time the teams have met, the most in football bowl subdivisions. Well, still to come at 4, despite CDC warnings, millions of people are flying this holiday. Is there a safer way to fly? Consumer Reports has some tips for us when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Keep your home and family warm and cozy this winter with a new degree of comfort from your local Rheem contractor.
Feel the Wohlers difference. Call Wohlers Heating and Air Conditioning today. Serving Dane County for over 45 years.
Do you have dry, cracked hands from constant washing, cold weather, and hard work? Try O'Keefe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keefe's for healthy feet. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked feet.
I got your back, you got mine. Think about you all the time. Together we can come through. That's what love's made of. Give thanks, no matter how you share it.
We've been helping families make joy for over 100 years, and we're not taking this year off. So the Ford Built for the Holiday sales event begins now. We're giving you the best deals of the season on select Ford SUVs and Ford Fusion. So get the family together and make some joy this season. Ford, Built for the Holidays. Get Explorer with 0% financing for 60 months plus $2,500 cash back and $2,000 trade assist during the Built for the Holidays sales event.
People were afraid I was contagious. I felt gross.
It was kind of a shock after I started Cosentyx.
4 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentyx. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur. Learn more at Cosentyx.com.
Do you have dry, cracked hands from constant washing, cold weather, and hard work? Try O'Keefe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keefe's Lip Repair. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked lips.
It's no secret, Robertson is Wisconsin's aesthetic leader. But with results this natural, patients can keep it a secret if they want. Our secret to the best skin of your life, HydraFacials. Book a free consultation to learn how HydraFacials are different at Robertson.
My husband's parents were visiting, and I promised them a home-cooked meal, except my boss had a different idea. He tells me, hold your horses. I call my husband and I say, I'm slammed, and he's like, Quick Trip, and I'm like, bingo. At Quick Trip, I say, what's good tonight? And the Quick Trip guy is like, everything, but I go for the hand-breaded fried chicken, and I go, make that ×4. Being none the wiser, my mother-in-law is like, I always said she's a keeper. I'll run with that.
Quick Trip, we got you covered.
Is your home giving you the cold shoulder? Fight back with a new energy-saving furnace from your local Rheem contractor.
Feel the Wohlers difference. Call Wohlers Heating and Air Conditioning today. Serving Dane County for over 45 years.
Well, we might be going back to the early days of the pandemic with short supplies of toilet paper. With coronavirus cases surging and the threat of new lockdowns looming, paper products are flying off the shelves. Some stores have placed limits on some of the necessities like toilet paper, paper towels, and soap. Walmart says toilet paper and cleaning supplies are the most in demand. Target told the USA Today that it is prioritizing essential items and fast-tracking them through the supply chain. But experts say the industry has learned from months past, and they are more prepared for hoarders and stockpilers this time around. One of the largest annual auctions of movie memorabilia is gearing up in London.
Hundreds of items from film and TV are going under the hammer. They're as iconic as the movies that they were featured in, the special items that define a character. A prop store in London is auctioning off Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick jacket, along with more than 900 items from over 350 movies and TV shows. Everything from Tom Hanks' helmet in Saving Private Ryan to this famous purple fedora from Batman.
You can actually see on the inside rim of this hat here, white makeup residue from when Jack Nicholson has been wearing this, the Obi-Wan Kenobi hero lightsaber from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. It's the most valuable piece that we have in the auction as well, and this has an estimate of $100,000 to $150,000.
And you don't have to have a millionaire's budget. Things like a Harry Potter poster signed by Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint is expected to go for about $400. Online bidding is already underway, and the final hammer comes down December 2nd.
That's some neat stuff there. Well, coronavirus restrictions and concerns has fewer people leaving home for the holiday.
Yep, most who are traveling will drive, and they'll be saving some money this year. Because of COVID-19, AAA expects a 10% drop in travel this Thanksgiving. 95% of Americans who do leave home are expected to travel by car, and there's good news for drivers.
Gas prices have just been consistently cheap. Right now, motorists can find gas for $1.99 or less at 55% of gas stations across the country. Compare that to last year at this time, 1% of gas stations had gas available for $1.99 or less.
And AAA expects that gas prices will stay low through the holiday season. Well, like many things in 2020, travel has become a pain point for millions of us who want or need to get away, but we don't know how to do it safely.
And those difficulties could intensify as travelers board planes for the holidays. Public health officials say staying home is the best way to protect yourself from COVID-19. But if you must fly this holiday season, Consumer Reports has some tips to help keep you safe at 35,000 feet. Our Chris Stanford reports.
Planning on traveling through the air for the holidays?
I don't really have anything planned for the holidays, but if something was to come up, I probably would go.
I plan to go home for Christmas if possible.
If we do travel, we would probably drive.
Although it's likely more people will stay put this year than what's expected for a typical holiday season, if you do plan on flying during November or December, there's always the possibility of a jam-packed flight.
Knowing how the airlines operate, and particularly this year when it's been so terrible for them financially, our concern is that they're going to be maximizing profits by parking aircraft and not using as many crews, so flights could be fuller.
The CDC and airlines maintain that most viruses and other germs do not spread easily on flights because of how air circulates and is filtered on airplanes. But Consumer Reports remains concerned about the lack of social distancing and mask policies on board airplanes. And what about the airports?
There are a lot of choke points, particularly in smaller and older airports, where social distancing becomes very difficult.
Some airports are responding to those challenges by implementing new technologies like automatic electronic access points, also known as e-gates, that help reduce points of human contact and ease congestion bottlenecks. CR says there are even more ways to keep you and your family safe, and some of those start before you book. Contact the airline and check if they guarantee empty middle seats and how strictly it enforces mask wearing. Also, see if you can book a flight for earlier in the day. CR says that's when airplanes are the cleanest.
If you're on a 6:30 a.m. flight, you're probably going to get on a plane that just received a heavy cleaning.
If all of that still sounds too risky or too much of a hassle, perhaps avoid it altogether and opt for a virtual holiday celebration instead. Chris Stanford, News 3 Now.
Chris, thank you. Consumer Reports says if you are making travel plans for the holidays, try to look for flexible bookings in case you have to make a last-minute cancellation.
And try to avoid restrictive airfares that prohibit changes or non-refundable rates, and look for free cancellation or reserve now, pay later hotel bookings. Well, the nominations for the 63rd Grammy Awards were announced today. We'll find out who the top contenders are coming up after Dana's First Warn Forecast.
When you have zero worries and zero stress, there are zero reasons not to get into a Volkswagen. Click, call, or come by today. Visit our Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event and lease the 2020 Jetta S today with zero down, zero deposit, zero first month's payment, and zero due at signing.
Carrier has a complete line of home heating products to keep your family comfortable this winter without burning your budget. With smart temperature management and remote access options, it's easier than ever to control your home's climate. And Carrier energy-efficient systems can help reduce utility bills without sacrificing comfort. For more complete comfort and greater peace of mind, turn to your Carrier expert.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know it needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
We are the Thrivers, women with metastatic breast cancer. Our time for more time has come. Living longer is possible and proven in postmenopausal women taking Kisqali plus fulvestrant. In a clinical trial, Kisqali plus fulvestrant helped women live longer with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer, and it significantly delayed disease progression. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
You were always the responsible one, so much like me, always taking care of everyone else. But this wasn't your responsibility. I already took care of the arrangements. The Ryans made it so easy. I didn't want you to worry about a thing. It's my last gift to you, my lovely daughter.
There are 0 reasons not to get into a Volkswagen, especially now that you can start shopping from home. Click, call, or come by today. Visit our Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event and lease the 2020 Tiguan S4 Motion today with 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 to its signing.
Take a look at this. A zoo in Denmark has figured out a new and safe way for Santa to greet children during the pandemic. Have him sit in a giant snow globe. At this zoo in the northern part of the country, Christmas celebrations are already in full swing. But due to the pandemic, the zoo has had to find a creative way to make sure Santa can meet and greet visitors. To ensure everybody's safety, this year's Santa spreads cheer and greets his visitors socially distant inside the snow globe.
I like that. That's really cute.
It's kind of like a snow globe here today.
Yeah,
this morning.
A little bit this morning. We had some seriously heavy flakes falling early today.
They were huge.
They were, and now that is starting to kind of melt away for us, unfortunately, as we have some rain coming in. It's nice when we have snow and then it gets cleaned up and we can enjoy it for a little bit. And unfortunately, that'll be disappearing over the next few days. Here is a foggy look at downtown. That's thanks to that rain and the snow melting. We're looking at fog overnight and for tomorrow, but we'll take a closer look at your full 10-day right after the break.
The season for dress boots is here, and Rogan's has your next pair. Savings with 20% off the best name brands. Get the latest trends today and save at Rogan's.
Selection, service, name brands, and the second pair is half price. Visit online at roganshoes.com.
One, two, three, go!
You okay, Mom?
Physical therapy might be a good idea for her heart.
Hey, Alice. Dean's got you covered.
This was a great plan, Grandma.
Live your life with the plan for every moment. Dean Health Plan.
It's Chevy Truck Month. It's Deck Building Month. It's Toy Hauling Month. It's Explore New Ground Month. It's the month to get things done. Make it your own and make every month Chevy Truck Month.
Get $4,500 cash allowance on all 2020 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups. Plus, now during Truck Month, get a $1,000 accessory allowance towards the purchase of eligible accessories. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
It's the gifting polka.
Holiday gifting is in full swing.
It's the gifting polka.
And nothing sends guys and gals reeling like the new Wisconsin Lottery Holiday Scratch Games. On sale now from $1 to $15 and featuring a variety of top prizes. These gifts are humdingers.
It's the gifting polka.
Only from the Wisconsin Lottery.
At the Home Depot, we improved Black Friday. Now you get Black Friday prices through December, plus faster ways to search and find what you need. The flexibility to shop whenever and wherever you want. Pickup options designed for keeping spirits up and stress down. And the ease of having the holiday cheer we all need this year delivered to you. Holiday shopping improved with the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Keep your family warm this season with new winter boots. Rogan's has 20% off the best name brands for mom, dad, and the kids. Save on winter boots for the whole family at Rogan's.
Selection, service, name brands, and the second pair is half price. Visit online at roganshoes.com.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, it did look like a snow globe outside early this morning with all that white, heavy snow coming down. The flakes just kind of swirling around. I got a lot of really cool pictures and videos sent in. Always encourage you guys to send in pictures via email, Facebook, Twitter, because sometimes we're stuck in the studio. We don't get to see the beautiful scene, especially in the driftless region this morning. Beautiful pictures coming through. Dodgeville picking up almost 3.5 inches. Sun Prairie about 2 1/4. In Madison, about 1.5 inches of snow. In Beloit, close to 1 1/4. So a snowy start start to the day, but much of that has really disappeared as we've had rain eating away at it and our temperatures warming up. Overall snow depth, you can see much of the area, likely still a little bit of snow on the ground. You can certainly see it in the shaded areas or the places that might be a little cooler or lower lying, but a lot of that you can also hear clumping off of the trees right now as it's melting away. This system is going to continue to move northeast, so we have rain right now, and we're going to continue to see rain overnight and for Wednesday. So the soggy setup is just going to continue for another about 36 hours before we move over to sunshine for Thanksgiving Day. Scattered showers expected overnight. Temperatures a whole pretty steady in the upper 30s. It'll be mostly cloudy and foggy outside. Not expecting widespread dense fog, but as the snow melts, we are expecting fog for early in the morning. Areas of fog possible for Wednesday. And then in the afternoon, again, as those rain chances, additional rain chances pass through, will likely bring the most rain south of Madison, and that's where we're going to see the highest accumulation totals also. By Thursday morning, we're back to sunshine. We'll have variably cloudy skies throughout the day on Thursday. Should be pretty pleasant for Thanksgiving Day. Overall rainfall totals from here on out, adding on about another 1/4 inch for Madison. Higher totals expected to the south and east. So it's not going to be heavy rain passing through, but very drizzly, misty at times. Could see a few opportunities for some steadier showers. Tomorrow we have scattered showers. Thursday for Thanksgiving, variably cloudy with highs in the upper 40s, a little bit above average for Thursday. But by Friday, we're back to partly sunny skies with high temperatures and the low 40s. So a little bit cooler outside on Friday. It will stay closer to those cooler high temperatures heading into the weekend and the following week. For Saturday and Sunday in the mid to low 40s with sunny skies expected. A bit breezy outside on Sunday, though, as a cold front starts to drive through. That system is really going to cool us down for the following week. It will be windy for early on Monday, and then high temperatures will be dropping back to the 30s with overnight lows in the 20s. Looking ahead to that Tuesday morning high or after overnight low in the teens, that'll be a chilly start to the day. We are expecting those chilly temperatures to kind of carry us into the start of December.
It is December 1st next Tuesday, appropriately enough.
It's going to feel like December.
All right, bundle up.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, thanks,
a layer or two.
All right, thank you. The nominations for the 63rd Grammy Awards are out, and Beyonce leads the pack with the most nods.
Chris Martinez has more on who else could take home the top prizes on music's biggest night.
Beyonce stands to take home the most trophies at this year's Grammy Awards. The singer, who's already won 24 Grammys, nabbed 9 more nominations, including Record of the Year for Black Parade. Taylor Swift and Dua Lipa could also take home some big wins, both artists earning 6 nominations each. And Megan Thee Stallion, nominated in several categories, is a favorite to take home the trophy for Best New Artist.
I love all things Grammy.
CBS This Morning's Gayle King was among the presenters who announced the nominations Tuesday. While the format for this year's ceremony hasn't been revealed just yet, the show promises to look quite different with coronavirus concerns.
Any award show during the pandemic is going to be difficult, but we've watched them evolve.
Jem Aswad is the senior music editor for Variety magazine. He says, like other major awards shows this year, the Grammys will likely have to go largely virtual, with the ceremony possibly including a limited, socially distanced audience.
Even just a few people cheering does make a difference. You know, I mean, it's so much better than the silence.
One detail that has just been announced, the show's host. The Daily Show's Trevor Noah will serve as MC of this year's Grammys for the first time. The show, held in Los Angeles on January 31st, will air live right here on CBS. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And another notable category to watch this year is the Best Rock Performance.
For the first time ever, all of the nominees in that category are women.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, there's more to come at 4. Thanksgiving dinners will be scaled down considerably this year. Some tips for cooking a smaller turkey dinner. And tonight at 5, a local couple says they're spending their Thanksgiving alone, but that doesn't mean they can't help the community at the same time. We'll share you that story coming up tonight at 5.
Let us help you create your family's recipe for health. SSM Health and News 3 Now are making it easy by putting all the ingredients right at your fingertips. With topics like healthy habits, nutrition, and mental well-being, there's something for everyone. Visit Channel 3000's Time for Kids page for advice from SSM Health experts.
And catch fresh and informative reports on News 3 Now.
Take time for kids with SSM Health and News 3 Now.
So I can get the latest phones free with no hidden requirements?
Yep, all season long.
And do I have to get the most expensive plan?
Nope, no plan restrictions.
Okay, but we have to trade in our phones.
Right?
Right?
Nope, keep your phones.
Did you say free phones?
Yep, the latest phone's free for you.
Okay, in.
Switch to uscellular and get the latest phones free, available all season long with no hidden requirements. uscellular, upgrade to fair.
If your dry eye symptoms keep coming back, inflammation in your eye might be to blame.
Looks like a great day for achy, burning eyes.
Over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating your eyes and may provide temporary relief.
Ha! These drops probably won't touch me.
Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease.
What is that? Xiidra? No!
It can provide lasting relief.
Oh.
Xiidra is the only FDA-approved treatment specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye, twice a day. Don't use if you're allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort, or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Got any room in your eye?
Talk to an eye doctor about twice daily Xiidra.
I'd prefer you didn't.
Xiidra, not today, dry eye.
Hey! Yeah? I switched to GEICO and got more.
More savings on car insurance?
They helped with homeowners, too.
Okay.
Plus, motorcycle, boat, and RV insurance.
GEICO's got you covered.
Like a blanket.
Houston, you seeing this?
GEICO. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Tonight at 5, we're live at the Alliant Energy Center to see how the COVID-19 testing lines are looking ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday.
And the rain will continue overnight and into tomorrow, so keep the umbrella on hand. By Thanksgiving, we'll be back to sunshine. We'll take a look at your full forecast.
And then at 6, we all know this Thanksgiving won't look the same as in years past, but we'll introduce you to a Madison couple still finding a way to share a meal with the community. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. Colleges have been a petri dish for the coronavirus.
Now some are paying their students to prevent further spread. Biology major Sarah Kearns doesn't consider herself an Instagram influencer, but earlier this year, the senior at the University of Missouri was chosen, along with 5 other students, by an outside marketing firm her college hired to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. A spokesperson for the university tells us that this was the first time the school used an Instagram influencer approach to reach the student body. Christian Bassi says the month-long campaign started at the end of August and cost roughly $10,000.
It worked really well. We did see an increase in COVID active cases. They peaked at the very beginning of September on Labor Day weekend. And then after that, we saw an immediate dramatic drop in the number of active cases.
Other schools like Fordham University in New York City are using their own social media accounts to reach students with pandemic safety messages, especially as Thanksgiving approaches. This pledge reading, "Each of us caring for the whole of us," has been posted to the school's public Instagram page every few days this semester, generating thousands of likes. Well, we've heard more about the high bills for mammograms and other imaging tests than for perhaps any other issue we've covered.
And now we're hearing about this problem again from women who face bills for hundreds of dollars, some of whom are already hurting financially because of the pandemic.
The last thing stay-at-home mom Rachel Schmidt expected during the pandemic was a bill for her first screening mammogram, a test that under the Affordable Care Act is supposed to be paid for.
I'd always heard that, the screenings after 40 were covered.
And so I was just shell-shocked.
She went in for that test in August, but after she mentioned some tenderness around a lump, staff told her she'd have to come back a month later instead for a diagnostic mammogram, one that's more detailed, plus an ultrasound. But then came the bill, nearly $1,200 her insurance company refused to pay.
I've been calling anyone I can to just get some answers as to what's going on.
And have you gotten any answers?
Not many. Insurance was pretty much cut and dry. It's diagnostic. We don't pay for it.
Not only that, she says, although her husband's still working, the pandemic cost her her job as a teaching assistant at her children's school.
It hits pretty hard. We don't have a lot of emergency savings left.
Many other women nationwide have told us the same, that their doctors ordered a test their insurance company says doesn't fit the definition of a screening mammogram, like a diagnostic mammogram, an ultrasound, or an MRI, and they've wound up with bills for hundreds of dollars. That's despite the fact that nearly half of women over 40 have dense breast tissue, and experts say regular mammograms miss more than 50% of cancers in women with dense breasts. Women like Mary Canny, who says of standard mammograms,
they did not pick up my breast cancers both times.
In both cases, Canny felt lumps, later confirmed as cancers by additional screening tests. The second time in 2014, after a supposedly negative mammogram.
I found the lump within a month, and I went right away to have it checked out, and it was cancerous. I can't trust the regular mammograms.
Because of that, this year, her oncologist ordered a more advanced 3D mammogram. But after the test, she got the bill, $856. The reason? Her insurance company said the test was coded as diagnostic, not screening.
We can afford to pay for the mammogram, but we don't feel that it is right or fair.
Even worse, Canny and other women say the high bills have given them pause.
I shared my story with my friends on Facebook, and I had so many comments saying, wow, now I'm going to think twice about going. And I said, please don't. But then when it's also going to cost your family, that amount of money, you put it off sometimes.
A recent study shows the potential human costs of putting off those tests. Quest Diagnostics looked at its own numbers of newly diagnosed cancer patients served through lab tests and found as many as 20% of women with breast cancer may have been going undiagnosed since May. Medical Director Dr. Harvey Kaufman.
They've missed their mammograms, they missed their physician visits, and they have cancer. And for some, it will have tragic consequences.
In March, Republican Senator Roy Blunt and Democratic Senator Jeanne Shaheen told us they'd introduced legislation to cover all diagnostic tests in the law, in part due to our reporting.
I was watching your piece when you were talking about the fact that so many insurance companies don't cover diagnostic breast exams. I said, well, we should do something about that.
But progress on their bill, too, has been delayed.
I think, if anything, Anna, this problem has gotten bigger because people have put off tests. They have let things progress in ways that they wouldn't have otherwise. I'd like to solve the problem.
Anna Werner, CBS News.
Canny told CBS News she fought her bill with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota for 3 months without success. But after CBS News reached out to them, her problem was quickly resolved.
The company says the mammogram was in fact for screening and would be now fully covered. It told Canny this was an exception. However, Rachel Schmidt's insurance company, Kaiser Permanente, told her diagnostic mammograms are fully covered, but only after the deductible is met. It's a big problem. Well, it's that time of year again. Thanksgiving dinner with nutritionist Donna Weihoffen. Except for the 29th Donna Thanksgiving, we're going virtual. She has some tips on downsizing this year's feast when Live at 4 continues.
Who is USAA made for? It's made for this guy, a veteran who honorably served. And it's made for her. She's serving now. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they served one tour or made a career of it. We also made USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work with and can save you money on auto, home, and renter's insurance. Become a member today. Call us for a quote. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
USAA. Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the big move.
just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Now during the Chevy Cyber Sales event, use $500 Cyber Cash on most SUVs when you unlock your code. That's around $239 a month on this Equinox for qualified lessees.
Protect what's important to you from COVID-19, you help protect everyone in Wisconsin. Learn how you can stop the spread at dhs.wisconsin.gov/COVID-19.
So, how's saving for the renovation going?
All done.
I will never understand how you do it.
Easy. She saves with BMO Harris. We give you a cash reward for every month you save.
So BMO will give me cash for saving money?
You bet.
Can the subject hold position 2, please?
How's this?
That's art.
That makes saving look good.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect. Get a $5 reward every month you save $200 or more in a new BMO Statement Savings account.
Outlets at the Dells, an attraction not to be missed. With over 60 of the world's biggest brands, we thrill family gift givers, trendsetters, and all who love a smoking hot discount. We are all about the deal, the joy of finding the ultimate stocking stuffer, the perfect bag for the fashionista on your list, the holiday outfit that makes you shine, and the discounts that no one else can touch. Set your alarm to rise and win on November 27th with giveaways, massive sales, and big fun. Doors open at 5 a.m. Visit outletsatthedells.com for event details. Knoll Manor Retirement Living in Verona provides extraordinary supportive living with compassion and grace. We offer independent living, assisted living, and closer care living options. We understand that staying social is important to everyone's well-being. That's why Knoll Manor provides engaging activities and ways to stay active and connect with others. There's yoga, bingo, outdoor music, and so much more, all while keeping your health and safety in mind. Knoll Manor Living. Welcome home. Contact us today to set up your virtual tour.
Right now, we aren't seeing any delays on the roads. In fact, the Beltline actually looks pretty good. Everything was a little backed up, a little slow this morning, but much of the roads still wet outside, but not quite as slick as they were early today. Downtown Janesville should be pretty smooth. Also, from Janesville to the Beltline, about 26 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and Sun Prairie to downtown, a quick 9-minute drive this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. Canadian officials are warning people not to let moose lick their cars. Authorities in Canada's Alberta province have put up signs asking motorists to avoid allowing moose to lick the salt off their cars. Officials say this can be dangerous when moose are too close to cars. I never thought we'd have that story to tell, but we do. Millions of families are planning smaller feasts for Thanksgiving this year because of COVID-19.
And there's some good news. If you're planning to put the turkey with all the trimmings on the table, it will cost less this year. The American Farm Bureau Federation says a classic Thanksgiving meal for 10, including a 16-pound turkey, sweet potatoes, stuffing, rolls, cranberries, veggies, and pumpkin pie, will cost just $4.69 per person. That's down 20 cents from last year. A drop in the price for the holiday bird is the main reason why.
The price of the turkey came in at $1.21 per pound. That was down 7% from what we saw last year.
John Newton from the American Farm Bureau Federation says many grocery stores are pricing turkeys low to get shoppers in the door, and demand is changing this year. Smaller family gatherings have many people buying just legs or breasts or smaller turkeys, but they're kind of hard to find this year. For the last 29 years, nutritionist Donna Weihoffen has cooked a turkey and all the trimmings for us.
And shared her favorite Thanksgiving recipes. Here's a quick look back at holidays past.
It smells so good in here.
It smells great.
Look at the turkey.
It's hard to believe, Donna. 25 years of doing turkey on television.
25 years.
Your famous potatoes?
My famous mashed potatoes.
Make them every year.
I know. I said, look at this gorgeous bird.
It's an 18-pounder?
Yeah, 18 pounds.
And then everybody can take what they like.
Yes,
I love that. Plus, it's so beautiful.
Right. And the secret ingredient is putting in a can of cranberry sauce. Gravy separator goes like this. And I go down until I have no more. Then the rest is fat.
Oh, that's
perfect. Throw that away.
here, and this is from 19.
Unfortunately, things are a lot different this year with the pandemic.
That video is making me hungry, but we're still keeping the tradition alive.
Here's a Zoom 2020 edition of a very Donna Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is going to be a little different this year, isn't it?
It sure is. And one of the things about turkeys is that people are looking for the smaller birds because we have smaller numbers on our guest list this year. And so I have a bird here, it's only about 12 pounds. So I think that's an ideal number for a small family. But if you don't want to do a whole bird, I'm going to show you how to do a turkey breast. And this is a really great way to make just a perfect breast. So I'm going to go through it. I started out with a breast, a nice big one, and I put some butter on the outside with a little bit of seasoning salt and a little paprika and put it in the oven at 325. And I put in a thermometer. This is essential this year to have a thermometer. And cooked it till 130, okay? So it's still raw. It's not done. I take it out of the oven at 130, set the oven at 450 or 475, put it back in the oven, watch it carefully. As soon as it starts browning, if it browns too much, put a little foil over it. But continue it in the oven about 450 or 400 until it reaches to 165. So that way you're cooking it slow at first, but it's not brown. And at the end, you make the oven hot when it gets brown. So it's really beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Do you remember last year when you were here?
Yep.
Well, one of the things we did, we took the juices from the turkey and we saved it. And I have this, it says 2019, and this is the broth that I had in the freezer for the past year. And so I can make my gravy from this broth ahead of time and then save whatever broth I get this year for next.
Well, now what about dessert?
I'm going to do an apple pie, but it's a little bit different apple pie. These are cut up apples, and I did them ahead of time. To prevent them from getting brown, there's a little secret. I don't know if you remember when we put a little 7-Up on the apples ahead of time, and they didn't get brown. So I made these a little earlier this morning, and what I did was put in a can of cranberry sauce. You see the cranberry sauce? So just a whole can of cranberry sauce, cut up apples, has just a touch of sugar and cornstarch in it. So I mix this up, and I put it in my pie shell. I have a wonderful streusel topping. I think streusel toppings on pies are wonderful. You don't have to have a pie crust. And I made my streusel topping in a little Cuisinart blender. I'll sprinkle that on top. So this is my finished product. This is my pie.
Oh, that looks good.
And so it's an apple cranberry pie. The recipe gives it just a little bit of tartness, but if you like it a little sweeter, you could add a little bit of sugar.
We'll have all the recipes online, channel3000.com. Happy Thanksgiving, Donna. Hopefully next year we can all get together again.
Donna, we're thankful for you.
This is the 29th year that we would have been together. But it's the first time I haven't, been with you for 29 years in person. So
we will next year. We will next year. That's a promise. Donna, be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And the worst part is we didn't get any samples. Maybe next year. We'll be right back with the final check of your forecast.
Keep your home and family warm and cozy this winter with a new degree of comfort from your local Rheem contractor.
Feel the Wohlers difference. Call Wohlers Heating and Air Conditioning today. Serving Dane County for over 45 years.
I want a client who comes in to feel comfortable and to know that their case is in good hands so they can relax and get on with their life as best as they can and let me do the fighting for them. That's how I want them to feel.
Gingras, Thompson, and Walks.
People were afraid I was contagious. I felt gross.
It was kind of a shock after I started Cosentyx. 4 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentyx. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur. Learn more at Cosentyx.com.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
Is your home giving you the cold shoulder? Fight back with a new energy-saving furnace from your local Rheem contractor.
Feel the Wohlers difference. Call Wohlers Heating and Air Conditioning today. Serving Dane County for over 45 years.
As a COVID-19 outbreak spread through New Lisbon Correctional,
All of a sudden it started to spiral.
what current and former inmates want you to know about safety policies inside?
They're all in fear.
News 3 Now investigates tonight at 10.
Hi everyone, a lot of us are getting ready for a Thanksgiving that will look a lot different this year.
And we'll tell you how a local company is working to make sure everyone can stay connected, even virtually. We'll see you Wednesday morning.
Here's a look at our Doppler track over the last several hours. It has been rain for most of the afternoon, and that's going to continue for the evening. As we look at our high-resolution radar right now, just light showers, but that is going to eat away at that snow on the ground. Plan on a foggy and soggy Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Dana. We'll be right back with a final touch.